Maesters are the educated people in this world. It's one title, but they handle a wide variety of jobs, like being a healer, a teacher, author, advisor to lords, a weatherman, a raven handler, and really any occupation that would require an extensive education. We see a bunch of Maesters throughout the show and the books, like Luwin in Winterfell and Pycelle in King's Landing. It's a somewhat respectable title that anyone regardless of birth can obtain. Well, that's if you're patient and intelligent enough, because it could take some time. To become a Maester, you'll have to study at a place called the Citadel. It's in the second largest city in Westeros called Oldtown in the Reach. Once you decide to study here, you're considered a novice. The classes you take are open, so you can attend whenever you wish. Once a novice feels he has a full grasp of a subject, he can take a test to earn a link to a chain, which signifies you have passed and your mastery of the subject. That large chain we see the Maesters wearing are built with different links of a chain. The links are made of different metals. Each kind of metal represents a different subject. We don't know them all, but now that Sam's at the Citadel in the books, we're probably going to hear a lot more about this subject in the next book, whenever that comes out. Gold is math, silver is medicine, bronze is astronomy, iron is the art of war, black iron is ravenry, and Valyrian steel represents magic. There's a bunch of other metals stated to have links like platinum, steel, and copper, but we don't know what they represent yet. Once you pass a test on a particular subject and are rewarded a link, you are now considered an acolyte. We don't know how many links you need to become a Maester, but I'm guessing enough to make a chain hang around your neck. You can also have multiples of one type of link, so I guess there are levels to how well you understand one field. Kinda like how there are degrees, masters, and PhDs in life. Not everyone studying at the Citadel is interested in becoming a Maester, however. People like Oberyn Martell study and collect some links, then just leave. A Maester takes similar vows to the Night's Watch in Kingsguard, so not very appealing. Only men are permitted to study at the Citadel, so that's why all the Maesters in the series have been guys. One of Oberyn's daughters is secretly studying while pretending to be a guy and using a fake name. It isn't confirmed, but it may as well be, since Oberyn's daughter's name is Sorella, and the fake name is Alaris, which is just Sorella spelled backwards. Alaris also matches Sorella's description. She's the most talented acolyte I think we've read about in the Citadel. Since requiring links entirely depends on when you feel you're prepared to pass a test, some take a short time and others never pass. Alaris already has 3 links in the year she has spent at the Citadel. She's clearly following in her father's footsteps by just fueling her curiosity and then leaving. Oberyn's daughters inherited his wild personality, which doesn't fit well with the Maester's vows. For the rest of your life, you can never hold any lands or titles, and you must remain celibate. Your entire life is dedicated to serving others. For an acolyte to become a Maester, they must be willing to take this vow and pass one simple task. The night before the vows are sworn, they must stand vigil in a completely dark vault. They are given something called the glass candle, which was made by Valyrians using obsidian, also known as dragon glass. They must remain vigil throughout the night, but can leave if they are able to light the glass candle. This is more of a lesson than a task, since they believe it's impossible to light a glass candle. The lesson here is that with all the knowledge they've gathered in this massive library, they're not miracle workers. Some things are impossible. Maesters have never been big on magic. Very few studying at the Citadel bother trying to obtain a Valyrian steel link. But funny enough, in the recent books, glass candles have begun burning again, which they haven't done in a very long time. It seems this only happens when magic in the world is powerful enough. Some believe it has to do with the birth of Daenerys' dragons. Somehow magic has returned to its old state. When glass candles are burning, they are a powerful magic tool that allows a user to look and communicate across the world. Becoming a Maester isn't the last stage, however. When you are the head of a specific subject, you are considered an Archmaester. Archmaesters are the teachers of the Citadel, and the ones who administer the tests to novices and acolytes. When you become an Archmaester, you are given a ring, rod, and mask, also made of the same metal that represents their field. The Archmaester of Magic is walking around with some valuable items, since no living person can reproduce Valyrian steel, making it extremely rare. Archmaesters run the Citadel, while the majority of the other Maesters are sent to lords to serve. The houses of the Seven Kingdoms pay the Citadel for their services, and it's how this organization is able to keep running. The Citadel is a massive structure. The House Hightower of Oldtown takes credit for its founding, thousands of years ago. Within all the connected buildings and towers are some hidden vaults that only Archmaesters have the key to. Maesters wear large robes with hidden pockets all inside them. They keep this key in one of these pockets within their sleeves. A faceless man, who is very likely Jaqen H'ghar in the books, has got a hold of one of these keys, and is pretending to be a novice at the Citadel. One of the things we know for sure to be hidden in one of these secret vaults is a book called The Death of Dragons. Out of the Archmaesters, once a year, one of them is chosen through a random draw to be a seneschal. They had the task of governing the Citadel, a job they would rather not do since it has nothing to do with their field. Archmaesters come together in what's called a conclave to elect a Grand Maester. This Maester serves the royal family in King's Landing, so he must be one of the leading minds. Only the conclave can select a Grand Maester and strip him of this position if necessary. It's hard to say if the Grand Maester is the most powerful of all the Maesters. It isn't like he's the ruler of the Citadel. He sits on a king's small council and advises the king, so there is a great deal of power there, but the Archmaesters kind of do their own thing at the Citadel. Grand Maesters are generally very old men, who usually serve until death, which in most cases isn't very long. One of the main reasons for Pycelle being elected was his younger age at the time. Aegon V, a Targaryen king 40 years before the start of the series, was tired of how quickly Grand Maesters were dying, so he suggested the Citadel should consider someone more youthful. Pycelle, who was in his early 40s, was selected. Maesters are supposed to wear their chains at all times to signify that they are servants, so being stripped of your chain is a big deal. Qyburn is one of these Maesters who have had their chains stripped, and he's been removed from the Citadel. While they are supposed to try and understand the world, there are practices that are forbidden. Autopsies are performed by Maesters in the story, but Qyburn was cutting open living people to have a better understanding of life and death. He also dabbled in necromancy, which explains how he brought back the mountain. He's a mad scientist of this story. He's an ambitious man who's pretty good at what he does. His skills rival the Archmaester of healing at the Citadel, if not surpasses him. There are currently 21 Archmaesters in the story, and a Maester in almost every castle. While they are supposed to be servants, they aren't known to help out the small folk. It's the lords in the royal family that pay the bills. Some of noble birth even send their younger sons to study at the Citadel, when they have little chance of heading the family. Just look at Aemon Targaryen. He had a lot of relatives who came before him in the line of succession when he first made it to Old Town, but they would soon start dropping like flies. If he never took a Maester's vows, he could have become king, instead of his younger brother Aegon V. Long before Aemon, another Targaryen prince named Vaegon, who had no interest in marrying or becoming a dragon rider, became an Archmaester. And that's the hierarchy of the Citadel, and some of the lore behind this ancient institution. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I'll put up a random video on your screen that you can click or tap on if you aren't tired of hearing me talking yet. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all later.